Nicole Kidman has filed for divorce from Keith Urban after 19 years of marriage. The court papers show the actress will remain the primary caregiver of the couple's teenage daughters.
When news broke that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban were ending their 19-year marriage, it sent shockwaves across the world. For nearly 2 decades, they had been Hollywood's golden couple, the picture of devotion, balance, and enduring love. But now, at 58, Nicole has finally opened up about why it all fell apart, and her words reveal a heartbreak far deeper than anyone imagined. Their love story began like something out of a movie, yet it was grounded in the quiet sincerity of 2 people who had weathered their own storms. In January 2005, both Australians were honored guests at the Good Day USA Gala in Los Angeles. Nicole, the acclaimed actress whose career had soared after years of public heartbreak, and Keith, a rising country music star whose raw talent was beginning to win hearts around the world. The moment they met, there was an undeniable spark. Nicole later confessed that she felt an instant connection, a sense of recognition, as though she had known him far longer than a few fleeting moments. But Keith, ever the gentleman and somewhat reserved at the time, didn't act on it right away. Months went by before he finally reached out, leaving Nicole wondering if the attraction had been one-sided. What she didn't know was that Keith had been quietly captivated too. He just needed the courage to step into her world. When he finally did, he made sure she would never forget it. On Nicole's birthday, while she was in New York City, Keith arrived at her apartment at 5 in the morning holding a bouquet of gardenias, flowers that symbolize purity, love, and renewal. Standing in the dawn light, exhausted but smiling, he confessed how deeply he felt for her. That single gesture, unguarded, romantic, and utterly sincere, swept away every hesitation Nicole had. In that quiet, early morning moment, their story truly began, one built on tenderness, faith, and the belief that love could heal what fame and heartbreak had once fractured. In her own words, Nicole said she was a goner. From that moment on, she knew what they shared was far more than a fleeting attraction. It was something real, something lasting. Their romance blossomed quickly, moving from quiet affection to an unshakable bond. By May 2006, Keith proposed, and Nicole joyfully said yes. Just a month later, on June 25th, they stood together in a candlelit church in Sydney, surrounded by family and friends. Their wedding was a deeply personal celebration that beautifully blended Hollywood glamour with their Australian roots. Nicole's children from her previous marriage to Tom Cruise were there, making the day feel complete. A true union of hearts and family. The photographs from that night showed 2 people glowing with happiness, and to the world, it seemed they had found a love destined to last forever. But even in the midst of their joy, cracks quietly began to form. Only a few months after the wedding, Keith entered rehab to face his long battle with addiction. It was a painful and defining moment that could have easily shattered their young marriage. Instead, Nicole chose unwavering loyalty over fear, standing beside him with grace and determination. Her decision to stay, to fight for love rather than flee from pain, strengthened their bond and revealed the quiet depth of her devotion. They faced addiction, fame, and the relentless scrutiny of the public together, emerging stronger yet scarred by the weight of it all. As the years unfolded, they began building the life they had dreamed of, one centered on family, creativity, and shared purpose. Nicole, already a mother to Isabella and Connor, found in Keith not just a partner, but a new beginning. In 2008, they welcomed their first daughter together, Sunday Rose, and 2 years later, Faith Margaret completed their family. With 4 children between them, the Kidman urban household thrived as a warm, lively mix of laughter, love, and everyday chaos. Nicole often called motherhood her greatest grounding force, the role that kept her heart steady amid the whirlwind of fame. Keith echoed that sentiment in his music, writing tender tributes to Nicole and their daughters, weaving his family into every chord and lyric. Meanwhile, their professional lives soared. Nicole entered one of the most remarkable chapters of her career, taking on emotionally rich and daring roles that redefined her as one of Hollywood's most versatile performers. From Rabbit Hole, which earned her another Academy Award nomination, to Big Little Lies, which brought her Golden Globe and Emmy wins, she proved that reinvention and resilience were part of her DNA. While Keith continued to rise as one of country music's most beloved figures, Nicole's artistry expanded beyond film into television and production, transforming her from a star into a storyteller. Together, they embodied a rare partnership, two creative forces balancing love, fame, and family, determined to make it all work. Even when life's quiet struggles tested the very foundation of their fairy tale. Keith Urban, meanwhile, was solidifying his status as one of country music's most celebrated icons. His albums dominated the charts, his tours sold out massive arenas around the world, and his magnetic performances earned him Grammy Awards and multiple Country Music Association honors. Beyond the stage, Keith expanded his reach to television, winning over new audiences as a charismatic judge on American Idol. His artistry often mirrored his personal life. Many of his songs carried subtle nods to Nicole, love letters set to melody that reminded the world she was the heartbeat of his music. But with success came sacrifice. As Nicole's film career demanded her presence across continents, from London to Sydney to New York, Keith's touring schedule kept him in constant motion. Their love often lived in the space between time zones, sustained through late-night phone calls, heartfelt letters, and brief yet passionate reunions. They worked tirelessly to protect their family time, flying their daughters out whenever possible, and carving out sacred weeks at home away from the spotlight. Still, the strain of separation lingered like a shadow. To the world, they remained the epitome of Hollywood romance. On red carpets, they were inseparable, whispering to each other, sharing knowing smiles, and radiating warmth that cameras eagerly captured. Nicole spoke of Keith as her deep, deep love, calling their marriage the greatest gift of her life. Keith, in turn, often paid tribute to her in his music and interviews, praising her strength, beauty, and unwavering support. Together they seemed untouchable, a perfect union of glamour, grace, and devotion. Yet behind the scenes, their love story was far more complicated. Keith's struggles with addiction, a battle he had been fighting even before their wedding, continued to cast long shadows over their marriage. Just months after they exchanged vows, he checked into rehab once again. It was a moment that nearly ended everything. Keith later admitted he almost blew the marriage, acknowledging how close they came to losing it all. But Nicole refused to give up. Her loyalty and compassion became the glue that held them together through one of their darkest seasons. Their resilience during that time became an emblem of their relationship, proof that love could endure even the fiercest storms. Still, even the strongest foundations can weaken under unrelenting pressure. As the years passed, the cracks, once small and silent, began to widen. Distance, both physical and emotional, crept into their lives. The very success that had once bonded them now became the force pulling them apart. By 2025, the signs were impossible to ignore. Nicole was immersed in major film projects overseas, including the highly anticipated Practical Magic 2, while Keith embarked on his High and Alive world tour, traveling endlessly from city to city. The brief reunions that had once felt romantic now felt like reminders of the growing space between them. Fans noticed subtle changes. A sudden end to a radio interview when Keith was asked about Nicole, fewer public appearances together, and social media posts that grew increasingly distant. The warmth that had once defined them had faded into polite silence. Nicole, ever the loyal partner, tried to hold on. But the more she reached out, the further Keith seemed to drift. By early summer 2025, insiders revealed that Keith had quietly moved into his own place, leaving Nicole and their daughters in the family home. Though many assumed it was just a temporary separation due to work, those close to them knew it was much more. For Nicole, it felt like an unspoken goodbye, a quiet unraveling of the life they had built together. The breaking point came in late September 2025, after months of emotional distance and failed attempts at reconciliation. Nicole Kidman filed for divorce on September 30th, citing irreconcilable differences. The announcement sent shockwaves through Hollywood and among their fans worldwide. After 19 years of marriage, a love story that had survived fame, addiction, and the relentless pressures of public life, it was finally over. What had once been one of Hollywood's most enduring romances had reached its heartbreaking end, leaving behind memories of deep love, quiet battles, and a bond that, despite everything, had once been truly extraordinary. Nicole Kidman's journey following her separation from Keith Urban marks not just the end of a marriage, but the beginning of a profound new chapter in her life, one rooted in strength, self-awareness, and emotional truth. The finalization of their divorce may have brought a sense of closure on paper, yet for Nicole, it also opened a door toward rediscovery. After nearly 2 decades of navigating fame, motherhood, and partnership, she is now focusing on reclaiming her individuality and redefining what fulfillment means on her own terms. Supported by her sister Antonia and surrounded by her daughters, Sunday and Faith, Nicole's attention has shifted to creating a stable, nurturing environment for her family while embracing a quieter, more grounded rhythm of life. Professionally, her next steps are expected to reflect her inner transformation, gravitating toward film roles that speak to resilience, womanhood, and emotional depth. As she moves forward, Nicole Kidman is no longer simply the star audiences admire, but a woman courageously embracing change with grace, honesty, and purpose, proof that even in heartbreak, there can be renewal, and in endings, the possibility of a more authentic beginning. Nicole Kidman's life after her split from Keith Urban is entering a period of transformation, marked by both practicality and deep emotional recalibration. Co-parenting now defines much of her daily rhythm, with Sunday and Faith's stability taking precedence above all else. While the custody arrangement grants Keith less time, both parents face the challenge of balancing demanding global careers with the shared responsibility of raising their daughters across continents. Every decision, from travel plans to family holidays, will now require thoughtful coordination and compromise, reflecting the complexity of maintaining unity in separation. Publicly, both Nicole and Keith have remained composed, but many anticipate that when the time feels right, Nicole may share her perspective in a reflective interview. If she does, it won't be for spectacle. It will be a continuation of her long-standing grace and authenticity, offering insight into love, endurance, and self-discovery. Privately, this chapter may offer her something rare: freedom without fear. At 58, Nicole stands at a point where reinvention is not about youth, but about purpose. Embracing independence, nurturing deeper personal relationships, and perhaps finding a new kind of peace. Whether reconciliation is ever on the horizon or not, one truth remains. Both she and Keith must now navigate separate paths shaped by the lessons of love, the demands of parenthood, and the quiet courage to begin again,